The clock is ticking now for former President Trump's legal team to challenge the Colorado Supreme Court ruling that bars him from the state's Republican primary for violating the 14th Amendment's insurrection clause. And it will continue to tick perhaps into the new year. A source with knowledge of the Trump team's legal planning tells NBC News it will wait until after the holidays to file its appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court. The deadline for that appeal is January 4th. And the moment the appeal is filed, the Colorado ruling will be stayed, meaning Trump will be on the ballot in Colorado, at least for the time being. NBC's Vaughn Hillyard is here to help us make sense of all that. So, Vaughn, walk us through your new reporting on this ruling. What exactly should we expect from Trump's legal team, and how does the timing here work to their advantage?
Right, Garrett. I'm told that the legal team is preparing to put forward their filing to the U.S. Supreme Court, their appeal formally after the Christmas holiday, most likely sometime next week, but before January 4th. For this team, this legal team, this is, let's be very clear, Garrett, a very important appeal, because the ramifications of whether the Supreme Court were to take this up or not are very high. And in this scenario, the Supreme Court does take this appeal. They are going to be determining whether Donald Trump is disqualified from the ballot, not only in Colorado, but the expectation is that that would amount to disqualification from the ballots across the rest of the country, upending this 2024 process here. And so, of course, the complexities of exactly who this legal team are still up in the air. He had a Colorado lawyer that worked and represented him on in front of the Colorado Supreme Court. But for Donald Trump and his legal team, they have their focus in many different places right now here, and going before the U.S. Supreme Court to determine disqualification is perhaps the highest among them.
One of his legal team's not loving this moment. His political team seems to be. They're fundraising off of it. It's sort of more armor for him in the primary. Talk about the difference there in terms of how the campaign team is seizing on this.
Right. As we have seen from each of the indictments that Donald Trump has had issued against him, to the execution of the search warrant of Mar-a-Lago by the FBI back in August of 2022, his political team has tried to make the most of what are difficult legal circumstances, and this is no different. His campaign has sent out multiple emails over the last almost 48 hours now, suggesting that this is an effort by politicized justices and a politicized justice system to, in Donald Trump's words, nullify the will of Republican voters around the country. Of course, we will wait from the Supreme Court to make the ultimate decision about whether Donald Trump remains on the ballot or not.
And the man who once spanned those teams is Rudy Giuliani, who declared bankruptcy today. What can you tell us about that, Vaughn?
Right. This followed an order from the court just yesterday saying that Rudy Giuliani must comply and must begin to compensate these two Fulton County election workers immediately. The assets that have been filed that Rudy Giuliani currently has is somewhere between $1 million to $10 million. Obviously, that is a far cry from the nearly $150 million penalty that was put on him here just earlier this week. But so for Rudy Giuliani, filing bankruptcy, per his spokesman, was the understandable first step towards beginning to pay up that compensation. But for Rudy Giuliani, of course, this is going to be a difficult time ahead here as he looks to begin to how he can actually begin to pay off what he is owed here at the stage in his career.
All right, Vaughn Hillyard, thank you.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app, or follow us on social media.